is using speech project number 3 from the Competent Communicator Manual. The overall objective is to get to the point. In 1919, Irish poet W.B. Yeats wrote, "Things fall apart. The center cannot hold. Craig will now tell us why he is just fine with this. Please help me welcome Craig. Things fall apart."
I am disintegrating. And so are you. Fellow Toastmasters, Mr. Toastmaster, welcome guests. We are all disintegrating in each moment as our cells replicate. We are losing a tiny bit of ourselves. But I am at peace with that. I'm enjoying the ride. I'm going to tell you today, first, how we are disintegrating, how and why. Second, I'm going to reveal to you some scientific discoveries that could prevent or even reverse some of these disintegration effects. And then finally, I'm going to tell you why I have no interest in prolonging my disintegration or preventing it. So first, why are we disintegrating? In 1961, Dr. Hayflick discovered that that all the cells in the human body have a limit of how many times they can replicate. It depends on the species. For humans, it's 50 times. For mice who can live 3 years, it's about 15 times. If you happen to be a Galapagos tortoise that lives 175 years, your cells would replicate about 115 times. So this is known as the Hayflick limit. So why is there a limit? Our DNA is comprised in rod-like structures known as chromosomes. That's our genetic material. Each time our cells replicate, the chromosomes unravel and a tiny bit of the chromosome comes off or disintegrates. This tiny bit that disintegrates is known as the telomere. This telomere is important because it prevents some of the genetic material from disintegrating or being harmed. It's like the plastic tip on the edge of on the end of a shoelace. It protects the chromosomes. So finally, over time, as we age, the telomeres get shorter and shorter. And when the telomeres get shorter, bad things happen in age. Our memory fails, our eyesight fails, our muscles start to deteriorate. So it's like a plant withering. But what can we do to prevent this? Or is there a way of preventing this? In 2009, Harriet Goodman and her team won the Nobel Prize for Medicine. What they discovered was that there's an enzyme called telomerase that prevents the breakdown of chromosomes. It actually protects the telomeres. So this seems like it could be a fountain of youth. What they discovered was they experimented on mice, and when they deprived mice of the telomerase, they would age prematurely. When they introduced telomerase, some of the effects of aging would either stop or, in some cases, even reverse. They would start growing their hair back. They'd start flirting and going on little mousy dates. I don't know, but they would, something would happen in those mice. And we can tell because their Hayflick limits are short, so you can observe this in mice. So this seems like the fountain of youth. So now everybody with a lab coat and a Bunsen burner comes out and starts promoting these telomerase remedies. But a lot of scientists are saying that there is a danger in prolonging the life of a telomere. There's one cell in the human body that will never die, and that is a cancer cell. It only dies when the host dies. So Jay Olansky at the University of Chicago discovered that as the more that cells replicate, they have a greater propensity to grow tumors. So even though these apparent therapies might prolong the length of a telomere or a telomere's life, there's not enough evidence or enough research to determine whether or not this is really a good thing. So what do I think about it? What's my response? Well, I'm in my 60s, so I should have an interest in this. But my interest is more in keeping good health, maintaining my good health. I ascribe to the view that's similar to what Dr. Andrew Weil has in his book, Healthy Aging. What his view is very simple. Stay healthy and maintain your health as you age. He separates the aging process from age-related diseases. So you can stay healthy as you age and avoid age-related diseases by adhering to what he calls a non-inflammatory lifestyle, by good diet and age-appropriate exercise. How he describes it is that there's a morbidity compression in this type of lifestyle, where you stay healthy throughout as you age, and then your morbidity is compressed at the end, and you don't suffer these age-related diseases. And he suggests a diet high in plant content and meats that have the omega-3s and omega-6s to avoid inflammation. Inflammation can be useful when you're injured. The nutrients and bloods go to your injured part of your body, but if it's prolonged, then the cells start to break down. So let the telomeres disintegrate. By maintaining a good health, and God willing, I intend to compress the hell out of my morbidity and just go along, and then boom. I mean, that's fine with me. I'm not interested in prolonging my life in ill health. And I can tell you now that I have a greater sense of equanimity than I ever thought was possible. So, hay flick limit, bring it on.